This is Dwayne at Fuse IT with step 2 in the process of setting up Send2CRM. In the first step, we have configured the Salesforce package. We installed the package, and now we need to configure the client. So I have the same tabs open. Those include my Salesforce developer org that I'm using for this installation video, our wiki page, and I have a tab open to GitHub just to show you that as well. So we, in our first video, went through Salesforce installation. The next step, talking about the Salesforce app itself, there's some information about the dashboard and what's included and how that works, but there's nothing actually to configure there. So a single step, client configuration. This is the JavaScript snippet that you'll need to put into your website. Where this is we'll go back to the developer org. We'll go to Send2CRM. Of course, if you've installed the package, this will be there. And we go to website client. It's a fairly simple page. The public site, in step 1, we called this Send2CRM. You may have called it something different. We recommended this, but whatever you've called it, that's what will be showing up here. Ours is called Send2CRM. And it's auto-filled for you. Library source. Okay, going back to the wiki, talks about this and talks about what this means. This is where you're going to find the Send2CRM JavaScript library. And so in this example here with just a slash, it's at the root of the website. So it's on your website at the root. It could be in a subdirectory, or it could be, there's a link here to talk about. Let me click down to that. JavaScript client installation, Send2CRM library source, see instructions on GitHub, opens. I'll just do it and go to the same place I already was. Goes to the GitHub page, and you can actually host the JavaScript library. This is the JavaScript snippet here, and you'll see the full URL to the JavaScript library. If you don't want to put it on your own website, you can host it right out of the CDN. So that's what that would look like. The only other two things in this snippet that we need are the service URL and the shared key. And you'll see where that's going to come from. So there's just a little reference here to some different ideas of how to put in the location of the JavaScript. So back to client configuration. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to type in this case, it is in the root of the website. So you'll see that as I'm typing that, it goes ahead and the app gives me the script or the snippet that I'll need to put on my page. And it has filled in the location, both the location and the service URL, which you'll notice, Fuse IT eDev ed, is actually coming from the URL of my dev org. And so it's referring to this service. It has auto-filled it in, and it has auto-filled in the API key. I can generate a new API key by clicking this button. You can do that at any time. If you've already put the script on your site and you generate a new API key, you'll have to go back and change that API key. That's it. We take this. There are other settings here. Okay, I'll just refer to that, and that there's an explanation of other optional settings. They tend to be, first of all, you can use it just out of the box as all of the defaults. However, there are settings around form submissions, how many forms are allowed, how long are you going to wait, what's the maximum size, that sort of thing. But just go with the defaults, and then you can look into changing these as needed. So you really don't have to do a lot here. You generate the JavaScript snippet, and then you put this. Now, where do you put it on your website? in my case, my demo site, I'm hosting an IIS, so I can actually just go into the page or pages and paste it in. If you're using a CMS, which you probably are, each one will be a little bit different, and you'll have to find out. And it also depends what you want to do with this. Do you want it only on one page? Do you want it on numerous pages? Do you want it across the whole site? Because there may be a place that you can apply it across the whole site, or you can go into the individual pages as needed and place the JavaScript. It has to be, for form submission, it has to be on the page with the form. If you are not doing analytics, then and you're not interested in things like page visits and goals elsewhere in the site, it doesn't need to be on those pages. As you start to want to track those things, or if you want to track those things, then you'll put it into other pages or potentially across the whole site. So that's really it. Um, I don't need to show you anything more to get up and running with this. And we will be adding pages to our wiki about each individual CMS and how it's done in those CMSs. A little beyond the scope of this install video, but it's also probably something you're familiar with in that, I don't know, the likes of Google AdWords or any other JavaScript snippet that you're putting on pages, you'll be across that already. Okay, that's number two. And in our third video, we are going to look at mapping forms and how that works.